If you're watching this on the Legacy of Survival channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because what you're about to hear isn't shallow trivia. This is the kind of raw, ground-level knowledge that defined whether a soldier lasted one night longer than the enemy expected. Every winter campaign of World War II, from the Eastern Front to the Ardennes, forced soldiers to master techniques born from necessity, improvisation, and sheer will. What makes these survival hacks worth studying today is that many of them still translate into practical lessons for modern preparedness. So let's get straight into the real methods men used to stay alive when the world around them froze solid. Soldiers learned to manipulate body heat using layered clothing in ways modern survival manuals still teach. World War II troops didn't have high-tech synthetics or moisture-wicking fabrics. What they did have was wool, cotton, and whatever they could scavenge. The key wasn't just piling on clothing. Soldiers quickly learned that the first and most crucial layer was the dry layer closest to the skin. They rotated socks inside their coats, used newspapers under jackets for insulation, and even stuffed straw or grass between their uniform and greatcoat when supplies ran thin. Modern equivalents are straightforward. Keep your base layer dry, trap warm air with a middle layer, and block wind with the outer shell. Anyone preparing for cold conditions today can adopt that same rotation method. Always keep one layer warm and dry by tucking it against your body heat whenever possible. Troops mastered the art of controlling moisture because sweat could kill faster than bullets in sub-zero conditions. On the Eastern Front, German and Soviet veterans often spoke of the wet death. Even a short march could leave a soldier sweating, and any moisture that froze inside clothing acted like a layer of ice. The solution was strict discipline, slowing the pace before overheating, loosening collars and cuffs to vent steam, and resting more often. These weren't luxuries, they were life-saving routines. Today, the principle applies to winter hiking, hunting, or bug-out movement. Never overdress for exertion, and adjust clothing the moment your body warms up. The goal is to avoid sweating entirely, even if that means starting a journey slightly cold. Soldiers built improvised trench heaters and learned to heat small spaces with almost nothing. In Stalingrad and Bastogne, resourcefulness meant everything. Troops burned candles inside metal cans, used tiny alcohol stoves, improvised from ration tins, or buried hot stones under bedding. The trick wasn't generating huge heat, but retaining just enough warmth to keep circulation going through the night. You can recreate similar methods today by learning to make safe, low-oxygen heaters, such as tea light in tin warmers, or by heating rocks near a fire and insulating them in cloth. These methods won't turn a shelter into a sauna, but they will keep frostbite at bay. Exactly what World War II soldiers needed. Men rationed calories with strategy because the colder it got, the more fuel their bodies demanded. Winter warfare required more energy, not less. Soldiers often ate fat-heavy foods first when possible, because fats burn slower and keep the body warm longer. Soviet troops cooked kasha with extra lard, while Germans saved every scrap of bacon grease for spreading on bread. Even the Americans relied heavily on chocolate rations and pemmican-style compressed bars. For modern survivalists, the lesson is simple. In cold environments, your body burns calories at an accelerated rate, so, prioritize foods with density. Nuts, cured meats, hard cheese, or modern-day energy bars. If you ever need to stretch rations, Follow the same pattern soldiers used. Eat the caloric-dense items before sleep to help maintain body warmth overnight. Troops kept extremities functioning through circulation tricks passed informally from veteran to rookie. Frostbite didn't strike all at once. It crept up. Soldiers stomped their feet every few minutes, rotated fingers inside gloves, and learned to flex their calves constantly to keep blood moving. Some units even developed routines where men checked each other's noses and ears for signs of whitening. These were not casual rituals. They were part of survival discipline. You can apply this during any cold weather task by setting a strict interval every 15 minutes where you move fingers, shift toes, and massage exposed areas. It's not glamorous, but neither was trench warfare. Simple circulation routines saved more limbs than medical supplies ever did. They used their environment as insulation instead of fighting against it. A snow wall can block wind better than any tarp, and World War II soldiers took advantage of that fact constantly. Digging into the snow rather than sleeping above it could mean a 10-degree temperature advantage. Soldiers carved sleeping recesses into banks, built low snow berms around trench positions, and used the landscape itself as a thermal barrier. Modern bushcrafters still use the same principle when they build quinzhee shelters or windbreak trenches. Anyone caught outdoors in a winter emergency should remember this. Snow is a better insulator than air. If you use it correctly, the environment becomes part of your protection. Men relied on strict gear discipline because one frozen strap or wet boot could turn deadly. World War II soldiers learned to dry gear immediately, repair tears the moment they appeared, and keep metal tools covered so they wouldn't freeze to skin on contact. Rifle bolts were wiped clean of oil to prevent freezing, and boots were stuffed with spare cloth to retain shape overnight. Today, gear discipline looks like checking where moisture accumulates on your pack, keeping laces maintained, keeping knives sheathed to avoid conductive heat loss, and storing electronics inside your coat in extreme cold. Small habits, repeated daily, prevent emergencies before they begin. They practiced mental endurance techniques because cold breaks morale before it breaks the body. Veterans often said the cold got inside your head long before frostbite took hold. Units developed routines to anchor their mindset. Daily tasks, cleaning rituals, shared jokes and even quiet competitions for who could light a stove fastest. These routines built the mental structure that allowed them to keep functioning. For us today, the takeaway is that mindset is part of survival. Establish routines, maintain order in your gear and environment, and break tasks into manageable steps. Mental discipline is as essential as any physical hack. If you enjoy deep dives like this and want more historical survival knowledge broken down in practical modern terms, make sure you subscribe to the Legacy of Survival channel and share this video with others who appreciate real history.